basic training was pretty tough. I took basic training at Sampson Air Force Base, New York. And I was in basic training for 3 months. And after basic training, I was transferred to Texas, Amarillo Air Force Base, Texas, to enter training as aircraft maintenance. And I was there for about, the school was 3 months, but I was there for about 5 months because they had a backlog on getting people into class. And I left, when I graduated from there, I come out, I really worked hard at it, and I think I was like number 2 or 3 in my class coming out. And I was transferred then to Newcastle County Airport, Delaware, as aircraft maintenance technician. And they had F-94C aircraft there. And I was there for almost 2 years. And then I volunteered to go overseas to Korea. And I was transferred to Korea. The war had just stopped. This would have been about 1950, last part of 1953, I guess. And it was summertime there. And I went into a organization that had F-86 aircraft. And we were set up, the squadron was set up to be mobile, to go any place at any time they needed you. So they used to do tricks with us and move us off the base to a remote base close by, and we had to sleep in tents there. Well, when we were on the regular base, we slept in Quonset huts, which wasn't very good either, but it was better than a tent. So they kept moving us around and just to keep us mobile. And what we did was we inspected the aircraft, and the thing of it is, with the aircrafts we were working on there, almost any work you had to do on the engine, you had to pull the engine out of the aircraft. So you had to take the aft section off, remove the engine, because you couldn't, on the engine itself, which was the J-47 engine, almost all the parts like the starter, the generator, the fuel control were in the front of the engine. And if you crawled up the intake of the aircraft to get to the front of the engine, you didn't have room to work, and it wasn't good. So it was easier to pull an engine and do what work you had on. But usually if we did that, if we pulled the engine, we just slipped a new engine right, not a new engine, but a usable engine, just change the engine on the aircraft. That was the easiest thing to do. The roads around Korea at that point in time were the only place there were any paved roads, like in the city of Seoul. All the other roads were dirt roads, and we used to hitchhike up to from Osan, where I was at, up north to the border, Seoul, and in a city of Seoul at that time, there were paved roads, but the people had no money. They were pretty poor people. You could see shot out buildings. Matter of fact, the government had one of them they used for a BX, a base exchange, and the whole top part of that building was shot out. The windows were all shot out, and the bottom part was okay. It was depressed, very, very, very depressed place. They had no paved roads. People didn't have much money. You couldn't go off base and eat because the food they were eating and what they had, we were told not to eat it. if you traveled off base, you'd have to travel to another military installation to eat. And they were all over Korea, so there was no problem. I was a young airman, and I was selected to, appointed to be a train guard. So they give me a 30 M1 rifle, 50 rounds of ammunition, and put me on a train to ride from Osan way to the southern tip of Korea, Busan. And I was going to be a train guard on the way up, ride on the train and be a train guard. So when we got down there, we stayed at an Army depot. And after a couple days, my train was ready to come up. So they put me on this flat car on the train, and I had 3 like Army Jeeps I had to guard all the way up, ride the train. And it gave me a couple of cases of sea rations to eat for food, because I couldn't leave that flat car because the Koreans come and steal things off it.